What up, dudes? It's your friendly neighborhood Killswitch queen here to tell you about why I bought this 2007 Harley Davidson Dyna lowrider. I know what you're wondering. With all of the available motorcycles on the market right now, why in the world would I buy this 14-year-old motorcycle to travel across the country, which I have a video about, by the way. I rode all the way California to New York. In case you're interested, just go ahead and throw up a link there down in the description. I just want to give you guys a quick rundown, some pros and cons, and maybe help you decide if this is a bike for you, if you're thinking about it. Spoiler, pretty awesome bike. A lot of women are going to be wondering, how tall do I need to be? How strong do I need to be? This looks like a pretty big Harley, especially in person. So probably the main reason that I got this bike in particular was because of how comfortable it was to me. So when I throw a leg over and lift this thing up, I feel very natural on the controls. This was the first bigger Harley that I sat on that was actually comfortable to me. Something I felt like I could easily pick up and move around, and I didn't feel like I was going to drop it. If you're worried about reach, the mid controls, the stock pullback bars, boy howdy, this thing feels like a couch. So I'm 5'4", and I feel like if I really try hard enough, I can flat foot it. I don't. I just kind of keep my balls of my feet down. I don't feel like this is an unmanageable amount of weight. I think it's just shy of 700 pounds. Of course, with all the gear and everything on, it gets a lot heavier, but I freaking love this thing, and I didn't think I would love it as much as I do now. So let's get moving and go for a little ride. Now, obviously, this bike is comfortable for me. It's going to be a little bit different from everybody. Everyone's got different size torsos, length of leg, arm, and what's nice is that those things can always be changed out, such as handlebars. We're just going to go ahead and fire that up. It sounds pretty darn good. As far as your amenities that you've got with the bike, it's a 2007 and it's a Harley, so you're really not looking at a lot. Of course, you got your turn signals. That's important in a motorcycle, especially one that is road legal. You've got your RPMs, your speed. On this side is the fuel gauge, which I really like. It is accurate enough, I think. It has a horn. Or it did have a horn until the wire broke itself and I no longer have a horn. I have taken it upon myself to install this cup holder, which I love dearly. And if you don't have a cup holder, I don't know what you're doing. Got all your basic little display up here, just like on any other Harley Davidson, and that's about it. This is a pretty bare bones motorcycle, other than it being fuel injected, so you don't have to worry about a carburetor. It's got the 96 cubic inch, which is just shy of 1600 cc, give or take. I honestly don't feel like I need more power. It's got the 6-gear transmission. When you're in 6th gear going down the highway, it's absolutely perfect for cruising, doing about 75 to 85. It's a real sweet spot. So let's hit the road, talk more about this hog. When I was looking for something more comfortable to take on long trips, because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of long distance motorcycle trips this year, I didn't have my heart or my eyes set on a Harley or a Harley Dyna whatsoever. Harleys, to me, have a pretty cool factor. This one in particular kind of has a kind of old school vibe, I would consider, versus what people are doing to their Dynas nowadays. T-bars and Memphis shade fairing, leather pro bags, all pretty standard protocol, I say, with Dynas nowadays. The more research I did on it, the easier I saw it was to work on. As somebody who's a mechanic and works on my own bikes, it's nice to know that if anything does happen to this bike and it becomes a project, there's no shortage of motor parts and whatnot. Oh, I love that backfiring. Woo! It sounds so good, baby. We're not gonna be long in here. I just need to get me one of them Red Bulls.
Since I wasn't able to hit any crazy twisties on this ride, I wanted to show you guys some clips from a ride I did just last week up to Lake Berryessa. It's got some pretty decent twisties, and you can definitely get down on the Dyna. You can scrape pegs if that's what you want to do. Since that engine has plenty of low-end torque, it's a lot of fun pulling out of those corners. You obviously aren't going to be hitting any crazy lean angles just because you'll be scraping the pegs. I am obviously not a super fast rider, but it was plenty of fun for me, especially since I'm not trying to be the fastest one going around the lake. Now, having ridden big sport touring bikes and, in general, better performing motorcycles, I have to say, the suspension is lacking a lot, and when you're throwing this thing around, going through corners, you could definitely feel a little bit of upset in the dual rear shocks in the back. This was something that Fort9 had mentioned in a video about Harleys, specifically about the Dyna, and I think it was about how the twin rear shocks are simply an inferior design. The Dyna would greatly benefit from upgraded suspension, both in the rear and the front, which luckily there is no shortage of in today's aftermarket parts. You can pretty much spend as little or as much as you want, and it's probably still going to be better than stock. Now, unless you're riding on incredibly fancy suspension already, I would not let this be a deciding factor if this is the only negative thing about the Dyna. Other than maybe if you're used to riding sport touring bikes, it leaves you a little bit to desire as far as performance and some of the amenities. But for what it is as a standard middleweight sort of cruiser that is low to the ground and makes enough grunt for you to get wherever you want, it looks cool, it sounds cool, it holds its value really well, at least in the market today. In general, I think most people are going to enjoy a Dyna lowrider. They'll have plenty of fun, and if it's something you're considering buying, I would say don't hesitate. Let me summarize this video for you guys. The Dyna lowrider is a fantastic choice if you're looking for a decent middleweight cruiser. While it's not exactly set up for touring, it definitely can be used as a tourer. And there are so many options to add luggage or wind protection. You can really set this bike up however you want to. It's got plenty of power to bounce around town, commute to work, or take on long cross-country rides. Compared to new motorcycles that are coming out, it is pretty bare bones and it is a little bit dated, as most Harleys are. But if you can find one with low mileage that hasn't been abused, it's definitely a fun Harley. It's a fun cruiser to keep in your garage. Can this bike have more power? Can it be faster? Sure, but if big power and speed is what you're looking for, you're probably not thinking about the Dyna lowrider. I honestly have more fun pushing this bike to its limits than taking a faster bike and trying to control just how fast I'm going. Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. If you'd like to support my channel for absolutely free, please consider leaving a like or a comment or even sharing this video with somebody who might be interested in the Dyna. I hope this helped you decide if the Dyna is something that you're considering. There will for sure be future videos on my channel about this Dyna. I already have an oil change video live on my Patreon. For those of you who want to give me that extra spicy love, for $1 a month, you can get early access to videos and some stuff that's not even going to be on YouTube. Thank you to my wonderful patrons who help make these videos possible. Keep the shiny side up, stay awesome, see you in the next one.